Richard Rodgers with a walk-off touchdown. Total disbelief at Ford Field.
He may go all the way to the 20 down the right side, and there's Randall Cobb to the 5, to the end zone, to the touchdown. Oh my goodness.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Green and Golden Boys Packers podcast, the podcast for Packer fans wondering what the hell is going on out there.
What in the hell?
I'm Charles, and with me as always is Marcus.
Hey everybody, what the hell?
Marcus, let me throw that question right back to you. What the hell is going on out there?
You know what? I can't recall a game in the Rodgers era that was such a turd, for lack of a better term. I mean, I feel like this is the lowest offensive output of any game that Aaron Rodgers has ever started. He threw for 2 picks, no touchdowns. I'm at a loss for words. I mean, it's not all Aaron Rodgers' fault. Obviously, the defense was porous all day. But I think everything went wrong. I mean, there was really very few positive points I think we can take out of this game. I'm hoping a silver lining is like, hey, we got punched in the mouth week 1. Let's hit the reset button, and maybe that's a wake-up call to everybody on this roster. I don't know.
Well, thanks everybody for listening to our podcast today. That's going to sum it all up. Join us next time. I think obviously all Packer fans are at a loss for words. Before we start going into Aaron's play, the very questionable play calling, strategy that the LaFleur and company was going for, despite all of that, we were very much in this game after we kicked that 3-point field goal at the end of the first half. And I was telling my brother-in-law, who I was watching the game with, saying, this game was terrible. We have a new defensive coordinator. Hopefully we can tighten this up in the second half. Aaron and this offense is going to get going, because it's just unacceptable to have, 2 or 3 attempts for Aaron Jones at that point, rushing the ball offensively. We're going to get this ball back. We're going to march down the field. We're going to score a touchdown. It's going to be 10-17. And then we just need one stop from our defense, and it's going to be a ball game again. But then Aaron Rodgers did what he hasn't done in, I think, 4 years I saw, throw a red zone pick. And if you watch that, I don't know if you had a chance to really kind of, not that I break down game film or anything, but, you watch snippets of that game. Aaron Rodgers kind of was staring at the folks, blitzing him, rushing him, and he took his eyes off Davante and just kind of threw the ball up in the air, which was very not Aaron Rodgers like, and that was essentially your dagger, that interception there.
Yep, and just to piggyback on that a second, I don't mean to interrupt, but if you watch that play back, I mean, Royce Newman just got schooled. He looked like, the defender looked like a ghost going right through him. Right to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he didn't even bump the guy. It was just like an arm, swing move, and he was right to Aaron Rodgers. We knew there was going to be growing pains on the offensive line, and we're seeing that. But at the same time,
but can you chalk up this loss to the off? I mean,
no.
Really, all on the offensive line right there?
No. I'm not chalking up the loss to the offensive line. I think that play in particular was, a severe breakdown in pass blocking by Royce Newman, and I'm sure he's going to get an earful when they review that tape. But at the same time, Rodgers had an opportunity. Davante Adams was open. If he led him to the sideline, that could have been a completion. He took his eyes off him, and he just kind of lobbed it out there where there were 2 defenders tailing Davante, and returned that interception for a significant gain. So, again, not all on the defense or on the offensive line for sure. That second interception by Rodgers is inexcusable. I don't know what he was doing or what he was thinking or where he was throwing it. I mean, obviously, Marquez Valdes-Scantling can burn by defenders, but there were 2 defenders still behind MVS when he threw that ball up in the air, and it was right to the safety. I don't understand I don't know. Unless MVS completely ran in the wrong direction or what, that was just, I have no idea. I've never seen Aaron Rodgers do something like that.
Yeah, that was pretty pathetic. And all across the board, it was pretty bad. I mean, and it kind of has to go all the way up to LaFleur as well. I mean, if you look at some of these totals, A.J. Dillon, 4 attempts for 19 yards. Aaron Jones, 5 attempts for 9 yards. I mean, these guys are paid, and I don't want to be that guy. These guys are paid millions of dollars to perform better. But these coaches are paid millions of dollars to not forget one thing that everyone always says after a loss. Why did we abandon the run? Right? And it's interesting because we got Aaron Rodgers, and I'm Aaron for life, especially here 2021. He's our quarterback, and I'm pumped to have him. He's obviously the reigning MVP. But our boy had a lot of drama this offseason, so to drop this first game is kind of annoying. But some of that drama ended with the Packers basically conceding and bringing his guy, and I'm thankful for it, really happy, Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb had one targeted throw to him.
That wasn't even from Aaron Rodgers.
And it wasn't even from Aaron Rodgers. Amari Rodgers, our other Randall Cobb type guy, one target, one reception, not even from Aaron Rodgers. It felt like there's something very wrong with this team, and we saw it in Tampa Bay, not as obvious, but against the Chargers, against the 49ers a couple years ago. When we get behind, it's panic mode, and Aaron Rodgers did not convert a third down play.
Let that
The one conversion was from Jordan Love. So what is it about us being behind and this crutch of, I hate to say it, maybe Devontae or something, like we're so one-dimensional, and it just seems like teams see right through us if we're down by 7 or more.
Yeah, and to your point, having Devontae as sort of a crutch. I mean, we've seen this the last couple of years. We when Devontae was out, the Packers a couple of years ago went 4-0, and Aaron Rodgers spread the ball around. He just was efficient within the offense. He wasn't holding onto the ball for 4 seconds waiting for Devontae to get separation. He was like, okay, I'll check down here, I'll throw a quick slant, do whatever, just to keep the ball moving. But I feel like he does use Davante Adams as a bit of a crutch. And it's, in times like, especially if we're coming from behind, he tries to work one-on-one with Devontae versus trying to just take what the defense is giving you. And the defense didn't give us much all day. And then abandoning the run early and maybe not sticking with A.J. Dillon. I mean, I'm kind of a proponent of go with your hot hand, and if A.J. Dillon is averaging almost 5 yards a carry, feed him. You know what I mean? Give him the ball. Let's establish the run a little bit. Let's be physical. Isn't that why we got a guy like him who's built like a centaur, so we could dictate a little bit versus, okay, well, Aaron Jones carried it 5 times for 9 yards, so we're just going to give up now.
Yeah.
I mean, you put a game plan together for a reason. I understand it doesn't always work out, but you got to stick to your guns. And if every ounce of data is telling you that this is what you need to do, don't be so quick to abandon the game plan, because at some point you gotta stay the course.
And I think there's just some level of arrogance that went. We were obviously confident. All the pundits were confident, but everyone knows the term, the saying, any given Sunday. And I think as the team that's expected to win, you got to know that it's week 1. We got to come up with a statement. So to all across the board to kind of play such a meh game is very disappointing. I feel like we added a 17th game this season, and I think us Packer fans just lost it right away, because it didn't even, before we knew it, it was over, and we like, what the hell did we just see? And I just think, I don't know if it was off-season stuff. I don't know what contributed to that. I don't know if we just wrote off Jameis Winston and the rest of the Saints in a neutral site, but we were not ready. We were not prepared, and I'm sorry for a team that is Super Bowl or bust. All my Lions family and Vikings family friends, you were saying, hey, at least we all lost. We're all 0-1. No one has the advantage. us Packer fans know that we're not just trying to win a division, right? We're trying to get the number one, worst case scenario, the number 2 seed. And we just made that a heck of a lot harder for ourselves, dropping a game, not just this badly, but dropping the game in general, that we honestly probably should have won on paper. And the schedule doesn't get a lot easier for us. So, the road to number 1-2 seed is very daunting now.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And to quote Aaron Rodgers, it's one game, 16 to go. This isn't this shouldn't be all doom and gloom. Like I said, if you're gonna play like crap, wouldn't you rather it be in week 1 than in week 16 or week 17 or week 18? Let's get this out of the way. Let's learn from it. Like I said in the beginning, hopefully this is the punch in the face that this team can kind of set them back to the right course, and we can get on track and move forward. Because if we had played really badly and won this game, would there be the sense of urgency to tackle some of these issues that we saw, or do we really need to get destroyed for it to be like, okay, we're not as good as we thought? We have a lot of issues on this team, NFC Championship appearance last year or not. So
I agree with you. I'd rather see it in week 1 than week 16 or 17, or in the NFC Championship game again, 100%. Would I rather see it in week 8, 9, or 10 than week 1? Yes. Aaron's speech of it's just one game feels a lot better when we're 9-0 and we just dropped an embarrassing game to an okay team.
Good point.
Right? The one game speech we heard last year and we heard the year before, and I bought into it because it's like, you're right, I can see what we're capable of. But to see us come out this way, and I know I'm going to be proven wrong. I know I am. We're going to turn this thing around, and before we know it, we're going to be 6-1. Awesome. But my point is like, it's tougher to swallow, and we don't really know what we have yet. And again, I don't want to keep coming back to this will be my last point on this offseason. I was all excited, like I told you before, at the end of last week's episode. One of the things I was most excited for was the pregame. Oh, by the way, I don't know how you watched the Packers game. Obviously, Marcus and I are here in Minnesota. The stupid Vikings couldn't hold on to the gosh darn ball and made this stupid thing go into overtime. So I missed the first half of the first quarter of our Packer game because I watched just on the antenna with Fox. So that's the one annoying thing. But anyway, my point is, Aaron had an interview with Aaron Andrews, and Aaron was asking about his offseason and whether he was truly contemplating retirement or not. And he said 100% I was. And I think you and I both kind of knew that, and we've heard that before. But what I hadn't heard him say before out loud in a, planned interview is Aaron said something along the lines of, I don't feel like I have anything else to prove out there on the field anymore. And a guy who's lost as many NFC, and again, biggest Aaron fan, a guy who's dropped 2 back-to-back NFC Championship games in a row, one that we should have won, it kind of pissed me off, and I think it would piss me off if I was a teammate of his to hear that he doesn't have anything else to prove. I want my quarterback hungry with a chip on his shoulder like we know Aaron Rodgers to have. Hopefully he didn't quite mean it that way, but I feel like Aaron's a very deliberate guy, and, if he's got this, I've accomplished what I needed to accomplish in Green Bay attitude for the rest of this year. His talent alone isn't going to win us 13 games. It's his leadership, his drive, and of course, his talent. Did you catch that interview? Do you make anything of it, or should we just write that off?
I didn't catch the interview. I'll go back and watch it. But when he says he doesn't have anything else to prove, and I didn't, hear this, I didn't see what, I didn't look at his body language or anything. But what else does he have to prove? I mean, he's going to hold some serious records in the NFL. He's going to go down as maybe the best thrower of the football in the history of the game. That being said, I don't know that winning a championship falls under the category of proving anything to anybody, because he's accomplished about as much as you can accomplish at the position, save winning multiple championships. Hopefully he just meant like individual accolades, because those he has. And I hope he still has that hunger and that fire to go out and win a championship. I know he, wants to do that for Randall Cobb, who came the